4 decades after it first went out of business, DeLorean is back in business in the future, but not like you remember it. The automaker rebooted with an all-electric car. I'm Fox News Autos editor Gary Gastelou, and joining me in the Fox Garage to talk about it is DeLorean Motor Company CEO Juice DeVries. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So let's just bring everybody up to speed here. Your company owns the rights to the name DeLorean, the original company's name. A few years back, you started out by doing restorations, parts, and service for the existing original DeLorean DMC-12s, but now you're getting into the original manufacturing side of things with an all-new car. Is that about right?
Almost. Let me narrate that a little bit. First of all, DeLorean never left the market. They just stopped building cars. It's been living on in Lego, Playmobil, online games. So the brand never really left the market. The brand was owned and stewarded by a company in Texas near Houston, and they've done a phenomenal job building a narrative around the DMC-12, restoring these vehicles, and they will continue to do that. So we call that classic DeLorean. What we have done is we've brought the new DeLorean Motor Company, Incorporated, into the world again as a full-line OEM, and classic DeLorean is actually a shareholder in new DeLorean. So almost there, but this is how it works legally for now.
So this first car, you called it the Alpha 5. It's not what a lot of people expected. It's not a 2-seat sports car. It's a 4-seat sports sedan almost, although it only has 2 of the iconic gull-wing doors, about the size of a Tesla Model S or a Porsche Taycan. Tell me, why did you go with this as the launch vehicle for this brand when everybody's so familiar with the old coupe?
We had lots of discussions about that. One of the negatives of going electric is you need to package a lot of battery. If you package a lot of battery, you need a big wheelbase. And when you have a big wheelbase, you get a big car. And we saw that if we go a little bit more extreme with our greenhouse, which is where the doors end and the glass line end starts, we can actually make this into 2+2. If you look in the back seats, there are back seats, but it's really not for people like me that are 6'4". You won't be able to sit there. It is truly a 2+2. But because we had such a long wheelbase, the design allowed us to do that. But I call it a coupe because I can't sit in the back seat.
I know a lot of 4-doors you can't sit in the back seat either. But,
yeah, no comment on that one.
Exactly. As far as the vehicle is concerned, performance-wise, you're talking about 0 to 88 miles an hour in just over 4 seconds, top speed 155 miles an hour, and a driving range of 300 miles per charge. You haven't really gotten into the technology that's underneath it, though. What can you tell me about the vehicle and what's driving it?
Well, a lot of the specs, obviously, we will launch at Pebble Beach in August, but we can tell you it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. Weight distribution with the battery pack in the floor will be pretty close to 50-50. We were very clear that we do not need a hypercar. We want a driver's car. If you want a hypercar, there's plenty of things out there to buy. We wanted a car that people can really enjoy, and for most people, just under 3 seconds to 60 is more than fast enough. Public roads at 155 miles an hour probably gets you into jail, so it's fast enough too. But we really wanted a car that has an amazing chassis feeling, a true driver's car, not an iPad on wheels.
And I read something about the first 88, they're not really street legal and they're going to have an NFT associated with them. Can you explain what's going on there?
Yeah, we wanted to do something funny. We have so many people that asked us, I want VIN number 123. I want to be in the first production year. I want VIN number 8888. And so what we're actually going to do is that rather than us trying to dictate who gets to get what car, we're going to launch the 5-year production run in one go as an NFT run. And with that NFT comes an avatar that is gameable on all the major game platforms, and it will have a randomized VIN number. So if you're lucky enough to be able to mint your NFT, then you'll have a VIN number. If you don't like that VIN number, you can trade up, trade out in the secondary market where NFTs are being traded. And that keeps us away from the discussion, well, I want VIN number 1992. I want VIN number blah, 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 blah. Because the production is not going to be unlimited. It's going to be a very limited production run over the next 5 years. And we felt it was really brand correct to try to combine the metaverse with the physical universe. The first 88, however, is a different story. We get a lot of pressure to get the cars into the market fast. And people especially in the Middle East and in Europe, there are ways to get them on the road without being homologated. And we said, well, why don't we just sell the first 88 as physical avatars? They're not a car. They look like a car. They drive like a car, but they're not a car. So we're actually going to sell the first 88 as a physical avatar with track paperwork only. And then it's up to the consumer to have fun with the car in the legal way that they can in the market where they live.
This is a pretty wild concept. So basically, I'm going to buy an NFT and then be able to get a car later on when production starts.
Yes. So it's really, really interesting to see how we can combine that metaverse with the physical universe.
175,000-ish to start. Is that going to be is that where it's going to start and go up from there, or start and then you'll come out with lower price versions of this?
We'll have a few options in the car. MSRP will be disclosed in Pebble, but we're going to be around that range. It's not going to go nuts over it because there's not going to be that many options. But you need to think in that region, yes.
Now, this is designed by Ital Design, which is the same company that handled the founder of the company handled the original DeLorean. And I heard the idea here was that they were going to do a 4-seat vehicle back then. And this is basically what would have happened if the company never would have went out of business. This is where we'd be 40 years later.
That has been such an amazing discovery. When we went to Italy and talked to Giugiaro and his son Fabrizio, we found out not only did Ital Design, the company they owned at that time, didn't stop designing cars, they personally didn't stop designing cars at all. I mean, they have DeLoreans from different eras. So when we unearthed all these pictures and drawings and design studies, we found a coupe, we found a city bus, we found an airplane tug, we found a 4-door sedan. It was amazing. So what we have done now over the last few months is work with Ital Design and recreate a internal combustion engine coupe from the 1990s, DeLorean's first electric sedan in the 2000s, and then a hydrogen-powered SUV from the 2010s. And all these vehicles we will start to show the world over the next few months. And you'll be able to see them in real size in Pebble Beach also.
So they're just basically an exercise you went through. You're not going to be selling those types of vehicles.
No. This will be, I mean, my marketing manager tells me you have to build a few of those. We'll talk about that separately. But this was for us to understand the brand over 40 years rather than just penning a beautiful car. It was not enough. You had to really understand that last 40 years to get to where we go today.
So you are going to be an electric brand moving forward with this, and
we're going to be an electric propulsion brand going forward. Where the energy is stored, that's all open. Today's best technology is batteries. Tomorrow's best technology is hydrogen. So you'll see us both.
And you're based in San Antonio, Texas, which is kind of interesting. But you're going to be having a contract manufacturer in Europe build this first model. Do you plan to build cars in Texas at some point?
Maybe. It depends on the platform. I mean, our volumes are relatively small. Even when we launch our SUV, which will be our next vehicle, the volumes on a global scale will be relatively small. So contract manufacturing for us makes more sense. Our headquarters are in Texas, and Texas has been great. I mean, the Tesla's next door in Austin. We have Caterpillar here. We have Toyota here for 20 years. We have a lot of suppliers here. Mexico around the corner. San Antonio makes a lot of sense in a lot of different ways. So we're very happy to be here.
Is the long-term goal to stay an exotic luxury brand, or are you going to go into the mass market at some point?
I think at some point the pressure will be to go there. I always advocate first, let's get real and then get bigger. It's very easy to make beautiful PowerPoints telling you the world that you're going to build hundreds of thousands of cars. No, we are a nascent brand. We have a growth to learn through. And the coupe will the first start. I think the world has seen it now. Very good reactions. When they see the SUV, the volumes will be bigger, but still not massive. And once you mature as an organization, you have the right to explore if you want to go bigger, but we're not at that stage yet.
All right, Joost de Vries, thanks for talking to us about the new DeLorean Motor Company.
Thank you, Gary.
And to read more about it and all the automotive news, head on over to foxnewsautos.com.